Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So this one just almost blipped under the radar. I think the Democratic Party just here in South Korea made a move that admitted that they just took out an insurance policy that their main presidential candidate, who's wrapped up in that land scandal, may be going to jail, and they may have to replace their candidate for the South Korean president sooner rather than later. Let me explain. So last week, as the controversy over the second person who self-offed themselves over the land scandal erupted, just a few days later, they basically probably dragged out of hiding Lee Nak Yeon, the former prime minister, who ran against Lee Jae Myung in the primaries to become the Democratic Party candidate for the presidential candidate for the Democratic Party of South Korea in a very contested race. Well, he said that he was going to join the campaign and be part of the future strategy team and start in January to tour the country and really kind of tell the people of Korea what the party is going to do for the people. Well, they said that it was all in the name of unity, and they as the Democratic Party bigwigs who are probably just like shaking in their boots right now, they probably told Lee Jae Myung to calm him down, to say like, look, we need to get his votes, we need to get his charisma, his power, like his people on board. You know, you can't ignore his voting base, so let's bring him in. But this is what I think is really going on. I think they're basically brought him in as an insurance policy. If this Daejang-dong land scandal thing goes down, where they basically have to pull Lee Jae Myung out of the running and then put in another candidate at the last minute in January, February, heaven forbid, maybe like a couple of weeks before the March election, that is way too late. What do you do right now? You put in the number 2 candidate, the candidate that actually Lee Nak Yeon was supposed to be the candidate for president. For all intents and purposes, you know, like when you're supposed to kind of predict who the next president should be, Lee Nak Yeon, regardless of this whole presidential primary, was slated as like the next president by a lot of pundits. It was supposed to be sort of like his turn, sort of like how Hillary Clinton was supposed to be like the next president. And so you put him right together on a tour, a media tour, with Lee Jae Myung in January, February, saying that it's a unity tour. But just in case, you gotta say like, oh my god, Lee Jae Myung might be going to jail, or he did something so wrong that we have to take him out, and then boom, you already have Lee Nak Yeon, his face, in a presidential context, talking about what they want to do for the future of South Korea, and they can easily, as a party, just say, he's now our candidate. This is the Democratic Party's insurance policy, just in case the whole Daejang-dong land scandal thing goes down. Mark my words, if something goes down, and if basically the Conservative Party and all of Lee Jae Myung's enemies, I guess, are able to successfully push this attack through and bring him down, then this is most likely going to happen. And Lee Nak Yeon will probably get some sort of vindication and justice, because this guy is not here for unity. This guy is here for revenge. Oh, let me tell you, this just happened in October. You think he's over it? This guy was not just prime minister. He was the governor of South Cholla province. He also knocked out Hwang Kyo-won. You know our guy Hwang Kyo-won from the whole Son Jung-min case where he is the assemblyman fighting for our CCTV. So we'll still have to get you updates on that. So funny, huh? Right? Like, you know, it's basically how convoluted politics are. Anyhow, so he basically did everything that he was supposed to do to be the next, kind of like the heir apparent to be the next president. And in this primary, it was highly contested because he said that they flouted the rules. Essentially, there was a 4-day delay. He didn't even acknowledge that he lost the primaries until 4 days after. So it was a contested primary. That's how upset he was, and he was fighting the results. He wanted a runoff election between himself and Lee Jae Myung. He basically said, Lee Jae Myung, you did not get 50% of the votes, because had they there was a lot of people. There was like 11 people in this race, and people had voted for 11 candidates. And if you counted all 11 candidates, then Lee Jae Myung got about like 49%. But then during the whole primary, 2 people dropped out. And so if you didn't count their votes, then Lee Jae Myung got over 50% and got more than Lee Nak Yeon, who was second place. So the Democratic Committee just said like, hey, well, you know, we'll just make Lee Jae Myung our candidate. And Lee Nak Yeon was like, no, that is not fair. That is not in the rules. So do you think this guy, who was supposed to basically be the next president long before this Lee Jae Myung popped out of nowhere, is going to be happy with this situation? So mark my words, I think he is preparing. He is preparing to just step right in after this land scandal happens. And who knows? He may even have some evidence of his own from this land scandal that he might be feeding to whoever needs to be fed to bring somebody down. Because Lee Nak Yeon, I didn't know this, he was a journalist for 21 years. So journalist, okay, knows how to dig something up. Who's the one who actually dug up the land scandal thing in the first place? So you be careful, Lee Jae Myung. So I just wanted to give you guys my theory on that, so that just in case something pops out of nowhere, that you're prepared for it. I would give it essentially an 100% chance if the Daejang-dong land scandal goes somewhere. And I would give the Daejang-dong land scandal probably about a 20% probability of really bringing down Lee Jae Myung, because not really sure exactly whether they can really make it happen, because there are a lot of forces probably keeping him afloat. We'll see. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Tune in next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Find us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Love you.